One step,
One step,
one punch,
one punch,
one episode at a time.
one episode at a time.
This is
This is
episode
episode 66
of the Elbow Nudge
Elbow Nudge
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'm Caroline. This is Tony. And today we're covering
Creed, aka Donnie, aka D, aka Adonis Creed, aka
Adonis Johnson,
aka Baby Creed, aka Little Creed, aka
Kid.
aka Hollywood.
Hollywood.
AKA
Hollywood Johnson.
I think we covered them all.
I think we got it.
Welcome to the episode, everybody.
We are covering Creed.
Yeah.
This
one I've spoken about with you for a long time.
You have been a fan of this movie, dare I say, since it came out?
Yes. Right? Yes.
This has been a build-up, and I've gone through the Rocky binge -1, but
-2.
-2.
Rocky 5, right? You didn't see it?
I did not see Rocky 5. I did not see 5 and Balboa. But I've seen
the same two I didn't see, by the way, as well.
Okay, we're on the same
pretty
level.
much on the same page, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here for Creed. Tony, this is your movie. I finally get to be the one sitting in this chair when I say, what does this movie mean to you? You know,
thanks for asking. It means everything. It means the world to me.
No, we know that's not true. That movie is
It's okay. It's okay. It'll come up later.
All right,
but this is a movie I held to a high standard, right? I told you about it. I think is one of the movies that respects the originals, where it came from, its roots, and that's really how I want to start at, because I want to know, what did you think? Because that's where I see it. I think it's a great movie that respects the original and does something new. What do you think about it?
I completely agree with you. Even like down to the score, tone. I was hearing the soundtrack this morning, like just not even like the pop music that you hear, because there's 2, I guess, albums for this movie. You have like the Creed soundtrack, and it's got all the hip hop and that the different tracks they use in here. But then there's the score, and it's the same. It's the guy who does The Mandalorian. It's Ludwig Göransson. He's amazing. Great. He's one of the new great composers.
Oh, okay.
He nailed it. Tone, like the 2 scores you got to go back and hear is the one track called Rocky is Sick, and then there's 3. Rocky is Sick, You're a Creed, and You Can See the Whole Town from Here.
I like the titles.
Those are
except for Rocky is Sick. I want my man healthy.
I want my man healthy and strong and prosperous, everything. But yeah, just the tracks are Rocky is Sick is especially beautiful because it uses the same sound and pattern from Rocky 1 when he's just walking around Philly. And so you hear that same tune when he gets his diagnosis and goes. I was getting so emotional just hearing that piano track. And then and that, like, if I fight, you fight, the training montage, and you're hearing kind of the allude to the gonna fly now. It's just, I got so hyped just with the score. The score is its own masterpiece. And then the movie is great. So you just got all these layers that just make
what I'm hearing.
An incredible movie.
So it didn't let you down. It lived up to the Rocky status, the Rocky
Absolutely. It's so poetic to me, just the direction that the story went in. It's so perfect. All these years later from Rocky 1, we see the champ become the teacher. It's just already that's perfect. That's such a perfect setup. And then the execution of it is beautiful. I loved this training montage. It was so cool to see Rocky as the trainer. How it's just like, I even love the way Donnie approaches him, where he's like, at first, he's like, oh no, you don't have to train me. Just let me know where to start off with. And Rocky, the next scene is him with his glasses on, writing it down like, okay, you're going to do 5 rounds of shadow boxing. You're going to do this much jump rope. It's just, it's in him to be a fighter. It's just so
Let's talk about that for a little bit. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
okay.
So one of the things I liked is that this could have easily have been like a Star Wars style reboot, where it's like beat for beat the same thing, and that would have
Mhm.
been people would have
Okay.
loved it. I would have loved it. It would have been
Yeah.
fine. But I love that Adonis Creed is so opposite from Rocky. And seeing it so clearly back to
Yes.
back, like watching Rocky
Yes.
and then watching Creed, a humble man, a simple man, and then you see Creed and he's like
Oh,
Michael B. Jordan, he's charismatic, he's energetic, and going back to the scene you were mentioning, he's persistent. He's like, all right,
very.
just give me a couple of things to train. Like you don't have to be there, just and
He's
yeah. What
gonna
do you think
keep at
about that?
it.
What do you think
I
about that? The
I'm
difference between
so
Rocky and
I'm
and
so
Donnie.
glad you brought this up. I was aching to talk about this. They are both so opposite, but they have to their core, they're the same. They have the same heart in that sense. That same like I got the same kind of I really like the opening scene when it starts off with Marianne going and seeing Donnie in the hold or like in holding. And the way that that child acts was so sweet because you could see how hardened he is and just he's had a hard life. But when she says like I want you to live with me, the way he softens, I can already tell, okay, we got the makings of a great protagonist here. Like that's already you're cementing this is going to be a great character to follow. And they have that same heart of being a fighter. But yeah, they're so different in the sense that and you're so right with watching these two movies so close together. Rocky is working for a mob boss and he doesn't even want to break some guy's finger. He doesn't even want to break a thumb. He's so sweet. He's so like, no, we don't have to do that. But Donnie is like ready to go. He is so pumped up, but it makes such a great dynamic for this teacher student lineup. They knew the character of Rocky and they knew what character they needed his student to be. They needed Donnie to be to complement each other so well.
He's just
Because
like his dad.
yeah, oh, Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
He won my heart, man. Rocky 3 is such a
Yep.
good it's
Yep.
so good. I was loving Apollo Creed, and then when I got to 4, I was like, ugh. But Donnie is so cool. And I had to warm up to him a little bit at first. It
Donnie.
to Donnie.
Okay.
I was liking him. I was like, all right, but he wasn't on my Rocky level yet. But once he started it's like you mentioned the persistency. Once he started training and he knew I want to fight, I love his passion for it. I love that the debate isn't to fight. He wants to fight. It's more around the personal things that he has to deal with. The more of like he has to settle his personal life. He has to settle the things that are holding him down emotionally. And I love that kind of conflict within him, but he shines when he meets Rocky. Once Donnie meets Rocky and you have their back and forth, it's magic. It was great.
It works. Oh man, it works so well. This is
Mhm.
one of the ways I explain this movie is like the people who worked on it love Rocky. They love
Yes.
the Rocky franchise.
Exactly. You
It's like,
worded it
man, I,
perfectly.
I love you mentioned it earlier. We'll talk about it more, but just the themes that I liked is first of all the opposite personalities. I love that. I love that you fight, I fight. You're fighting cancer. I'm fighting for, my name. I'm fighting to show I'm not a mistake. Like I love that. I love the romance that's building there. Very different from Adrian and Rocky.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
But I want to tell you real quick before I forget, and because it's not going to take very long. The very
Mhm.
opening of the movie, I love when movies do this. I was trying to think of some more. I couldn't off the top of my head, but the only other one I could think of, I'll let you know. But I love when movies connect the dialogue to the title card of the movie.
Mhm.
So Donnie said, "What's his name?" And then you
And
see
then
Creed.
boom.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Oh, it's so
And
cool.
the other one, I just looked up the clip, is not as well connected as I remember, but it's the Avengers. The Avengers kind of do that.
Yeah, when you were saying I don't know what other movie does it, I was like, I think Avengers does it. But you're right. It's not like
But it's not as good as I remember because Coulson says, "What are we gonna do?" to Nick, and then it just goes dun 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 dun, dun boom, and then Avengers, and it's really cool, but it's not like I don't know, more directly like the Avengers is the answer to what you just said.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this was perfect. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh man,
If I remember correctly, I feel like Ghostbusters did it in Ghostbusters 2.
who you gonna
I
call?
yeah, I feel like it, but I might be remembering it wrong. But
There's
yeah,
probably a
continue.
bunch of good examples that I just couldn't think of, but I just love it when movies do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're making me think of the score of the track like You're a Creed. And immediately when that bell dings, you hear the ba ba ba
Dun,
da
dun, dun,
ba ba
dun,
da
dun,
ba ba
dun,
da
dun,
ba.
dun, dun.
Oh, I gotta like when I was watching it, I was so tired. I had just finished studying a bunch, taking a test, doing lab work, and I was like, no, but I gotta watch it because there's a good chance that we're gonna record, later today and stuff. So I was like, I gotta watch it, and no distractions. I had nothing on.
iPad off, phone off,
I
Apple
watched
Watch
it.
off,
I
VR
watched it
headset
on
off.
my iPad.
Which
Okay, I
oh,
watched it on like hold
that's
your
also
horses,
off.
hold your horses, man. I
Siri
watched.
off, Alexa off.
All right. Stop listing all of my stuff. People are gonna hack into my house. Some
Tamagotchi
hacker.
off. Furby off.
Oh, I hated those. Some hacker is gonna be like, "All right, write that down. Write that down.
Yeah,
Get her IP
these are
address."
all the access points
Exactly.
to
Open
get your
ports. Let's
information.
go. But yeah, I was watching it on my iPad. It was just me, iPad, notepad. So I was taking notes, and I was pretty tired at the beginning, but this movie woke me up. It energized me. It was
Right?
so
Yeah.
exciting. You
It's
just
exciting. It is.
everything about it is so exciting. And that fight, the fight choreography is
It's so much
really
better.
good. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's so good. It's like going from I'm gonna keep making Star Wars references because why not? It's like going from the originals to the prequels, and the choreography is just way up there. The fight choreography in this one was so good.
Let's talk about that one shot boxing match. Pretty much the first one after Rocky trained them. The first
Oh
match they do.
yeah. Oh,
Uncut fight scene.
amazing. Amazing. Speaking of uncut, that shot of them walking into the stadium and the crowd's booing, we follow over their shoulder from the minute they leave the locker room all the way to when he gets into the ring. And that's such a great shot. The whole
Yeah.
time Rocky's there, he's talking to him like, don't listen to them, don't pay them no mind. It's just, you're
I
there.
always get nervous during this time. Yeah, all of that. The good
I
advice.
I love it. I loved that long shot. It's just there are so many great things about this movie. My gosh.
And then Creed, he's just I like it. He's like cocky, he has his own personality. He's like, "Oh, you're the champ, right? Show me what you got." He's like trash talking him while they're fighting. And he's even like kind of losing it. He's like taking some hits.
Oh yeah.
He
But
eventually wins the fight, but man, it looks so good. Like the way the camera was panning around them. You're like right in there.
no,
We've
what was
never
the
seen a
line?
fight like that.
Oh yeah. But what was the line? It was like Ricky Conlon won the fight, but Adonis Creed won the
The
night.
night.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. The
Dun,
lot.
dun, 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 dun,
And now,
dun.
as soon as that bell rings and you hear that, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 I was like, ah! I was so hyped up. My
Oh
energy
man.
levels were through the roof. I couldn't even go to sleep after that. I was
It gets
so
you. It's
hyped
like
up.
I can't even express it, Caroline. It's just
I can hear it in your
amazing.
voice. This is the most
The
excited.
rewatches, even all the rewatches, like when I was showing, like this was years ago now, but when I showed my sister, my brother-in-law, and I hear that, I want to prove I'm not a mistake, and then he gets
Oh,
up for that final round, I'm like, yeah, I
dude,
got the touch.
dude,
Like,
dude,
yes.
I rewinded to that scene like 4 times.
Oh,
I had
I'm
to
so glad you
rewatch it.
did.
I had to rewatch that even the look on Rocky's face when he says, "I got to prove I'm not a mistake." And you can see the understanding. And he's
You're a
like,
Creed, and I love you.
"You're a Creed and I love you, kid." I was like, "Oh!"
Oh man.
So cool.
I love the finger taps on the back to keep him in the fight because he obviously couldn't
Yes,
see from
yes,
the.
that's so smart.
Yeah,
I was sitting there the whole time like, oh, Donnie, how you gonna do this, man? How you gonna pull it
yeah,
out? And then just the way, that's a champ right there. That perseverance. Rocky won me with his heart and his gentleness, but Donnie won me in his passion and his can-do-ness, his
dedication. Yeah,
dedication, everything. I love that he never complained about like the type of training. You know, he did like the whole like really chase a chicken, but once Rocky was like, do it, he goes. Even
these
when
chickens
they're
are getting slower.
even like in the hospital when he's like, all right, you have enough room, shadow box, and
Yeah,
there he goes, he's doing it.
and that's another good moment. It's like, oh, we're starting.
We're
This is
starting.
it. Yes, yes, we're back. Yes. And I like when he's like, I used to do those with one hand, just saying. He's like, all right.
Getting strong now. Oh,
By the way, I don't think I mentioned it in the Rocky episode, but I think Rocky does the best one-handed push-ups. Like the form is so good. He's just solid on those.
you know, I was thinking about that when we kind of logged off and finished. I was like, oh, Tony never talked about like,
The workout.
yeah, that's like your thing.
There are so many things to talk about.
That's so true. That's
There's
so
another
true.
thing that I'm going to bring up now that I forgot in the Rocky episode. I love the advice. Mickey gave it first, and then Rocky told it to Donnie that women
Women
make you weak in the
weaken the
legs.
legs.
Yeah. I've told Carl that a bunch of times. I think he knows this from Rocky, though, but I tell him.
Women weaken the legs. Rocky's such a gentleman about it too. He's like, hey, you two, you know. They're like, I know, we know, legs, legs.
Yeah, legs.
I have written so many lines like that I
This
liked
movie.
from this movie in
Say
my
them.
notes. The the freestyling.
Oh, okay. Which lines did you like from the
Hey,
freestyle?
it's your boy Don A.
From LA to
From-
Philly.
that remind you?
Yo said nay. First thing I thought of when he said Philly. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
we've all been there. Pronouncing those Y ending words.
Hey, I'm gonna be staying with my uncle for a bit. That's your uncle? He's
Oh, I
white.
love that. Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. It's been crazy. When were you gonna tell me that your uncle's Rocky Balboa?
Oh man.
I
That's so
love
good.
that. I love that.
You're walking next to a legend.
You're sitting in the
Rocky
car
Balboa.
with a legend.
Yeah. You're running along the side of a van of a legend.
Yeah. You're living with a
The
legend.
legend.
That's the champ right there.
What other lines you got?
I think one of my favorites is during the training montage, or at least like I think the first one, because there's kind of two. You get like the first one, and then Rocky gets sick, and you have that whole area,
Yeah, there
and then
is.
he goes back to it. So
Yeah.
I think it's in the first one or in this, I can't remember, but he's like, I want you to let it all out. Everyone who's ever disrespected you, see them. Anything you ever wanted, go after it. Now's your time. Make a statement. One step, one punch, one round at a time.
Yes.
So motivational.
Yes.
You can make motivational quotes out of any line in this movie.
Oh, you don't even know, Caroline.
I know you got like videos.
Us people in the motivational
community. The motivational community. All right.
It's in Rocky Balboa. And you've heard us quote the line about like, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's the one. That one's always in every motivational montage or, workout montage or whatever. It always shows up because it's so good. And they had good ones here too. But it's like, this is it. These are the movies that make you, work out, be a better man.
They really do. I was over here like, I gotta work out more.
Yeah, it's like, all right, pause the movie. I gotta go for a run.
There's like a thing online where it's like It's like a meme where it's like when 3 a.m. hits and you suddenly want to get your life together. That's
Yeah.
what this movie was for me. It's like when Creed hits and all of a sudden you want to get your life together. I woke up, I
Yeah.
started doing laundry. Like I was doing chores.
You were being responsible.
I was being productive in a good way, not in a Genshin way.
You were being productive in the real world,
I
not
started
in a game.
cooking. I was like, let's do stuff.
Man, you see
The
the
one that
influence
got
it has.
me good emotional was whenever they start talking about like whether to accept the fight or not. And he says, if it was anybody else in my corner, I wouldn't do it. But I got you. It's like
Oh,
chills. Chills.
let's talk about when they were at Adrian's the first time Donnie shows up to talk to Rocky. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff to talk about there.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about
Who won the fight?
who won the third fight.
Who won the third fight?
What did you think about that? The winner of the third fight.
I'm really glad it was Apollo.
Interesting. Why?
Because it kind of goes back to the way that Rocky has been winning these fights is because he's a tank. You know, he outlasts, and we talked about how like there's really nothing special about him. It's more of his perseverance, and he can take a hit. And so it kind of makes sense that when you pit him against, and I love the way Rocky 3 ends because of that. Like just like no cameras, no audience, just two boxers wanting to test their strength. And I don't know, it just kind of makes sense that Apollo would win. Apollo is just more, I don't know the word to put it. He's like sleeker. He knows more.
Easily.
He in the sense that like he's able to be conscientious. He's faster. Rocky likes to take the
He's a
hits.
professional.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rocky at this point in Rocky 3, he is too. He's gone up and he's beaten a lot of people at that point. But it's more of like Apollo knows how to use all his resources, whereas Rocky takes on too much. He's okay being like, I'll take this hit, I'll take this hit, I'll take this hit, as long as I'm able to like knock him down or outlast him. So when you put what it's almost like what happens when you put an unstoppable force against an immovable object kind of thing.
No, I agree with you. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
I was gonna say you wanted to hear me ramble about something I don't really understand, but I'm proud of anyway.
I love that Apollo, because that pretty much decides like, okay, so you're saying Apollo was better. He won the 2 out of 3 pretty much. But I would think like if I were younger, I would be like, no, I want my hero to always win.
Yeah,
I never want him to
yeah.
lose. But this is Rocky.
That's
It's Rocky.
Rocky.
He was never the best, but he always fought the hardest. He had the fight in him. He had the eye of the tiger, you know?
Bum, bum, bum,
So I
bum.
really like that it was set up this way.
He's the
And
people's
then
champ.
I also like that Rocky or Donnie first he said like, what do you think about Apollo as a fighter? Not in those words, but and then he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's the
he's the
best.
best. He's the best. No one could beat him, And then he's like, oh, well, you did. He's like, no, time beat him. Time gets all of us.
Wow.
Right? Come on. What a humble guy.
Wow. Wow.
What a humble king Rocky is.
Wow. Wow. There's a GIF. Here, I'm gonna say you if you want to know what I'm looking like right now.
Let's see.
That's me right now, man.
Wow.
Choked up on a Friday afternoon. Just wow.
All right, now's the time to stitch it in here. Time is our greatest enemy.
No.
Is it not though? Is it not?
Is. It's always
Is this
time.
not what we're learning?
Time is our greatest friend and our greatest enemy because it
How's
heals
it our
all
friend?
wounds. It heals all wounds, but it
Oh, you're
also
right. You
gets
could
the
use
best of
laughter
us.
for that too.
Time is our greatest ally and our greatest enemy.
Sometimes our ally.
Heals all wounds, but gets the best of us.
Kills us.
Okay, wow. This is chill. I love the way Donnie, with no preamble, nothing, he just walks up and goes, "Hey, Unc."
Yo, Unc.
Yo, Unc. That's so cute. He calls him Uncle. Even the, like, no.
Wasn't that the dead giveaway at Mickey's gym? It was like, who's this guy to you? Hollywood. He's like, oh, just a kid. We met him at Adrian's.
You would think,
But he says
right?
Unc. I would have recognized that as that's your nephew. Let me Google this guy. Boom! I would have found out he was Apollo's son real quick
I would have found him in 2 seconds with
because
my
his mustache.
onlineness.
That mustache is a dead giveaway.
I would be like, wait a minute there. And you know what? There is a little bit of a resemblance. They casted Michael B really well.
That's even what Tessa said.
That is what she said. She's like,
You look like him.
she's like,
Now
you
I
know
see it.
what? You do look like him.
Yeah. He
I
does. He does look like him.
I needed to see Tessa in a good movie. The last movie I saw her in was not a good movie. So I had this kind of shadow over
You were
not
judging her a bit,
her
right?
in general. It's just, and it wasn't even her fault. It's just like the mixture of everything going on with the last movie I saw her in, and even like the video you showed me, the YouTube one, is just all that, and there was like a little shadow over her, and I needed to see her in a good movie, and she is good in this movie.
She's in a lot of good movies.
She is. That I'm not doubting that, but I needed this to like okay, Tessa, you're great. You
Yeah.
are great.
So what did you think about Donnie and Bianca?
I love how he's, Rocky is the respectful king. The way he courted Adrian. And I love that Donnie is also kind of a respectful king. He's very smooth in how he talks to her, but also he respects her.
How he
And
raps for her?
yeah. But
Donnie.
even like the way he's like, well, I'm hungry and I was wondering if you wanted to go get food. It doesn't have to be a date. But then when he goes, he pays for her. She's
Yeah.
like, I thought you said it wasn't a date. It's not a date. It's like, all right,
Mm.
all right,
That's how you do it, fellas. Trick
all
them into
right.
dates.
Okay, hold on. That's not what I'm talking about.
You basically agreed to his
I'm just
strategy.
saying he's smooth about it because he is like not pressuring her or anything, but it's also like showing interest, and don't microanalyze everything I say. I'm liking this movie.
That was surface analyzing, not micro analyzing.
I feel like everything
I
you
was
micro.
macro analyzing.
All right, Mr. Economics.
All right.
But yeah, I really like it. I like their relationship. I even like kind of the, I don't know, the conflict too and how they resolve it. Even where she's like, "How would you like it if I went to one of your fights and acted like an ass?" Like I like the way
Yeah.
she delivered it all. She did a really good job.
What about her reaction to finding out that he was Apollo Creed's son?
I like that she forgave him. I at first I was like, "Wait, why is she mad?" He didn't really lie to her. But I can kind of get it, especially when it's that big of a deal that it's Apollo Creed. It's like, "Oh, snap." But
I like that it didn't last very long.
exactly,
It was like the next
exactly.
scene, it was over.
It wasn't, yeah, it was just like him walking down the street with her, and then he says like, "Hey, but I'm honest here on out, you know."
Yeah. He said people treat me different when they find out.
Exactly.
Which is a very valid reason.
Yeah.
Not share that so soon.
So, and then yeah, they as soon as they wrap it up, it's like, all right, next scene. It was very cool. One of my favorite parts about this movie, I love so much, but the one that got me laughing hard was after he wins the fight against that the
The
first
first
one.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot his name too.
He was like the lion or something. I can't remember. Either way,
Oh yeah,
he's like
yeah. I'm seeing it now. Leo the Lion.
yeah, let's tear the town up, and they're knocked out on the couch
That
with
is so
with
realistic.
with
Yeah.
ice cream in front. That is so funny. It's so accurate. I love it.
Yeah, that was a great transition.
That was so
Because it was
perfect.
so hyped. It's like they did a first match legit. Yes. What we
Yeah.
doing? Let's tear this city up. Next scene, passed out on the couch.
It's so
That's
good.
amazing. So I didn't have a chance to look this up, but I was actually a little confused about Donnie's mom and Apollo Creed because the first time I saw it, I thought he was because they said that he was a baby of infidelity. Like he's the
His dad had an affair with his mom.
yeah. Is that it? Is the mom in this movie is the one that Apollo had an affair with?
No, no. The
Okay,
mom, Marianne, the mom in this movie is Apollo's lawful wife.
wife. And she
but
got cheated on, and Donnie is the
yes,
son of.
Donnie is the son of the woman of the mistress or
Okay,
whatever. Because and so his mom died. Donnie's biological mom died. So Marianne like adopted him.
I gotcha. It made sense to me this time watching it because the way she was speaking, she said, "Oh, he's my husband," and I didn't. The first time I saw it, I thought they were doing like a movie thing, make it more dramatic, like he's my husband, and then Donnie's supposed to think,
Oh,
"Oh,
that means she's
so
my mom.
yeah, you're my mom. You're not a social worker or whatever." But no, she literally meant like he's my husband. I'm not your mom, but I want you to live with me.
Yeah.
So that's sweet. Yeah, that's
That
really sweet.
that is so sweet that she adopts him and like that's her son. He calls her
Yeah,
ma. He lives with her. That's so sweet of her to do that.
she cries for him, watches his fights.
When she sends him those fighting shorts.
The American Creed shorts.
Dude, I got
Dude,
chills.
dude, that's another hype
Dude,
moment.
dude, when he
Yeah,
opens the box, the start your own legacy, something like that, and then the
yeah, Ma.
shorts.
Yeah, the letter. Ah,
Ah,
you see,
it's good. It's really good.
whoever made this movie,
It's Ryan Coogler,
I
right?
know. Yeah, that's right.
Whoever. Hey, come on, man.
I'm trying to say in the general sense, the whole
Yeah.
team,
Is it
everybody
written?
involved, they love Rocky.
I wonder if okay, directed by Ryan Coogler, screenplay by Coogler and Aaron Covington. I feel
Mm.
like I've heard that name before. And then based on characters by Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like okay, he hasn't done anything. But all right, yeah, like it's like a love letter and a
It is.
continuation of a legacy.
It is, and Creed really does have its own legacy right now. I'm talking about the movies in general.
I've been seeing a lot of good buzz around Creed 3 and how it's being received and how it's doing at the box office. So they have a steady flow now, like the Rocky series.
Yeah. So yeah, we are. This episode is out after Creed 3.
hmm
I haven't seen it yet. You have you seen it?
No, I'm
Okay.
very excited to watch Creed 2, though.
Okay. Oh yeah, you still need Creed 2 and then Creed 3. So yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I am following the box office, and domestically, it already surpassed the opening weekend surpassed all the other Rocky and Creed movies,
Wow.
even including inflation. It's the best opening domestically. So that's awesome. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that just like that gives me a lot of hope for a continuation. Also just of even these types of movies, I feel like, and there's so many conversations around this. I'm sure people have heard them before, where it's like we're getting so much of the same kinds of movies, and I know that has to do with like superhero films and mostly them, but like
Fast and Furious and
yeah,
like
and
products that already have been established.
exactly, and like a lot of these genres people have been, you know, we get the same kinds. And it's just it feels good to get a sports movie in the mainstream. I know Creed 1 came out in like 2015, so this isn't anything new, but it does make me very happy to see that like even like when Top Gun was on top of the box office, it's like, good movies are rewarded. These movies that are so crafted and written well with good scores and good acting and a good story, they're paid off. And then when they're not just kind of, I don't know how to put it in words, but it's just when the story is refreshing, when it's not something that's like you're getting hit with year after year, month after month, or 3 months at a time or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, let's go watch this movie about boxing. Like that's great.
I know exactly what you mean. And yeah, it is something that a lot of people agree with, but it's still worth being said. And we know exactly what we're talking about. Like anything Disney produced,
Mm-hmm.
anything under
Mm-hmm.
Disney, and like Fast and Furious, like all these things that we see so much of. I'll even throw Mario in there. I'm super excited about Mario, but everything that's so popular and established already, and then they have to like infect movie theaters now is like, so it's very refreshing when you see a movie like this, a movie like Top Gun, just movies that like, oh, all right, so this is
even like I
And
haven't seen it yet, but like even when Everything Everywhere All at Once
I've seen
was
it. You,
doing
you need to see it.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
I need to see it. But like even when that movie was out, it's like it's so refreshing to get something new in the box office.
It's good. It's good. And we have those, I'll say something positive about it. People who's negative about seeing all these comic book movies and stuff, we have good, exciting movies coming out every year too. You just got to go see them.
Yeah,
They're out there.
they're out there.
They're out there, or they're streaming as well. There's a lot of great movies to watch every year. I'm excited, but I also take in the popcorn trash movies as well.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're there for. They're there for whenever you want to go out with your friends or you just want to have a night out to yourself and
Whenever you want to go to the theater, you need an excuse to go to the theater, even if it's by yourself.
one ticket to Ant-Man.
All right, that's enough.
Uh-huh. A little close to home.
Let's move on from this. We're lingering. We're lingering.
I'm looking through my notes because I just have so many
Quotes.
quotes. Yeah.
Say them. Keep saying them.
When he says, "We're not a real family."
Oh,
God, I have my heart broke, man. My heart broke.
and even you're not a real family. You're adopted. Oh, no, they didn't say that. But yeah, I was surprised. Rocky said that.
I mean, he's hurt, dude.
They were both hurt. They both said things that I'm sure is going to haunt them for the rest of their lives.
It's. I got so
when Donnie
sad.
said, "Get your sick hands off of me," like, oh, come on, guys, this is rough.
I was like, "God, both of y'all, stop it, stop it. We know enough. You love each other. Stop it.
That's enough."
Now you're both just insulting.
But I like that, I like that it's real. The emotions overtook them. They don't mean it, but they said it.
I love that
so you can tell how invested they are.
You can tell they don't mean it, and then they can tell they don't mean it. You know what I mean? But it's just the fact that they're even saying it.
They're wrapped up in the emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just coming out.
When
no filter.
But even when that scene that hits me, I say that for every scene, but I'm just gonna keep going forward. Is when Rocky's like, "No, I'm not gonna leave here until I say what I gotta say," and he says like, "You gotta forgive him. You gotta pick up and go forward." And Michael B sheds that tear. You can see his eyes watering up, and when he sheds that tear,
isn't this a good movie? What do you think?
Tony, I think it's a good movie.
I think it's pretty good too.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to tell you, when we were talking about the first Rocky and we were talking about Rocky's raggedy workout clothes, and I said, wait until you see Creed. Look at Creed's workout clothes. He's rocking the Nikes, like everything is fresh.
Yeah, but you know what? Good. I gotta appreciate that he's still in the gray.
Yeah.
You gotta put an ode to the original. The OG is what he called him.
Yeah, it's either that or OG.
It's either Unk or the OG. What's the OG mean? Old ass gangster.
Yeah.
He's like, Unk.
And I like them both. I like both outfits, but I'm just saying, it's funny seeing how raggedy, torn up, and thrown together Rocky's workout outfit is.
I really gotta you know what? Like, that's just another parallel opposite. Creed had a job, like in a financial firm.
Yeah.
Super big wigged, like smart.
He just got a promotion from what we heard.
Just got a promotion, and he quits that to be a boxer. And the constant struggle in the Rocky movies is that Rocky just
moves to Philly. Gross.
But apologies to all Philadelphians out there.
Come on, we're all thinking it, right? Fellow Philly.
Listen, man. I live in San Antonio. That's not much better. I gotta respect.
I grew up in the Bronx, so I feel like I could, kind of speak to this.
You're a Hollywood.
We're trying to leave. Aren't we all? Hey, fellow Philly fans, we're all trying to leave.
I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
To be fair, it looks like it's gotten better though. From Rocky to Creed, it looked like
Mickey's gym is.
It looked like it went from Gotham to Metropolis. It's looking a lot better now.
Wow, what a comparison! Mickey's gym. I like what Rocky. Oh, this is good. You got new floors, new paint.
Yeah, new paint. Yeah. It's good. I like what they're doing. I like how that other trainer, that little side story, he's trying to get Rocky back to promote his guy, his
Yeah,
fighter.
his son. That was his son.
Oh, it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's his son. He was like, he's 17-0.
17 and 0.
I love the stats when you meet a new fighter and you see the
Yeah.
stats.
This movie has its own style.
It's got its own style.
Yeah. Especially with the fighting. My goodness.
I like their nicknames. They're not on the level of Italian Stallion, but
I didn't care much for Hollywood.
I didn't
Even when they
either.
announced it for the last fight, I'm like, oh, I forgot. Whatever. I don't care.
He
That's
should.
Creed.
That's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's not Hollywood. That's Creed. You're a Creed.
It's your name. Use it. That was a good fight, right, Carolyn?
It's not you against him. It's you against you.
This is the guy you're fighting right here. I'll
Get
leave
him
you
out
two
of the
alone.
way.
When you punch, what's he doing? He's punching back.
You got to dodge. You got to move. Move your head.
Here's a
No.
quote that I wrote down that I like during the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
The announcer goes, Creed, he just got up like a man possessed.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, he's back.
Oh,
Yes.
even that whole scene too, the slow-mo drop, all
Yeah, that's
the
another thing. We would
insert
have never seen
scene.
that in, like the first Rocky. I
Well,
think they do
yeah.
slow mo for
I mean,
Rocky
like
4.
Rocky 1, we got to give, a general like blanket pass to because they made it on such a small budget. Sylvester Stallone hadn't even been in anything big. They were just taking a chance on this kid's screenplay, and it ended up being huge, successful. That's why we get like 2, 3, 4, 5, Balboa, all that. Creed 1 has a budget. They go in like we're not holding anything back from making this movie what
This
it
ain't your
needs to
daddy's
be.
Rocky. This is
this
Creed.
So like they use all of these, and then like that's just the thing too. You see, I'm gonna get a little nerdy about this. You see film and how film has evolved into today. Rocky came out in the 70s and this movie came out in 2015 when, we have all these cameras and tech that make enhance film in a great way, and they just use it in a great way.
Yeah,
This-
this was for the best because usually, and we talk about this a lot, but the graininess of a movie looks really good and it looks more real. And then when it's like used with modern cameras, I'm gonna specifically call out Netflix. Like all the shows on Netflix, I hate the way they look.
yeah, you're right.
It's so glossy and ugly. But this was awesome. It's like a modern boxing movie, like a modern Rocky. They just did it correctly. A lot of the things
Exactly.
that they showed, like the boxing promotional videos that he was watching on his tablet,
Mm-hmm.
that's just straight up exactly what it looks like in real life. They got the actual announcers that will announce a boxing match. It sounded like actual commentary during
It's
a
even
boxing
done on
match.
HBO.
It's done on HBO. Like it, a lot of the times it looks like camera shots from a boxing match. The final fight,
Mhm.
the first one with the one shot was just like epicness for a movie. But the final one was like actual boxing angles sometimes. It's like, man, you guys like this is another thing I want to mention. There's some movies, there's a good handful now, but when I watch movies, sometimes I think like, oh, it'll be really cool if they do this, or man, I hope they do this. Like after they establish some things, I'm just hoping in my mind, like they don't have to do it for it to be a good movie, but if they do it,
It'll
it's
knock it
like
out of the
that'll be
park.
so cool. Yeah, and this is one of the movies where it's like they're doing things that are way better than my idea. Man, this is
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. Like, it's awesome. Ah,
It's so cool.
this movie is kind of good.
Tony, this movie's alright.
It's
This movie,
yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
I'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Let's just casually give it 5 stars out of 5. Why not?
Even ending it with the walk up the stairs with Rocky.
Oh, Tone, I'm not ready for this.
It's
that
like these
that
people love Rocky. They
the
know.
the piano. You caught the
Yeah,
piano.
the piano.
Ba-bum, bum.
I'm so happy
Ba-bum,
with what
bum.
I saw. So happy for these people who made this movie.
That
I'm so
got me.
happy that I gave them my money.
Oh yeah, you did. I watched it on HBO Max.
You're giving them money.
I'm giving. Am I?
Maybe in a roundabout way.
It's just wow. But what's that line that is because it's right after it's during the final fight that got me so amped up. I had to I hit like how it says like rewind 15 seconds. I
Yeah.
must have hit that like 8 times.
All right.
Where
Which part?
where it was like throwing body shots like he's Rocky Balboa, going upstairs like he's Apollo Creed. I was like, rewind, rewind. I gotta watch that again.
You got any more quotes?
I got so much.
Say them. It's probably going to relate to scenes that we could talk about.
You know what though? I wanted to ask your opinion because you are a casual like boxing fighting fan, right?
Sure.
So I would assume you know what the physique of a fighter should look like.
Oh, are you going to talk
And
about?
does Ricky Conlon have the physique of a fighter?
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Because I
does.
was about to say, pretty Ricky Conlon didn't look that pretty.
Yeah,
I,
when I was watching the movie, I actually thought this is the ugliest pretty boy nickname
I was like,
that I've seen.
you can't put a guy like that in the ring with shirtless Michael B. Jordan. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's not fair.
That's not fair. But that's why I was like, no, maybe that's what a fighter is supposed to look like. And Hollywood is Michael B. And he looks good. But
Well, it's all about the weight class. They have to make the weight, and then also
yeah, and this one he's what lightweight? He's a light
light
heavyweight,
heavyweight. He's
light
fighting light
heavyweight.
heavyweight, which I don't know if that I don't know that much about boxing. So Creed said he was 180 before he fought Leo. So I don't know if he had to go up in weight to fight Pretty Boy Conlon or whatever.
Mm,
But you're right about the Michael B. Jordan. He looks like that because he was training for the movie.
right.
And boxers do look like that, but boxers also look like Ricky as well.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that's realistic. He could straight up just be the champion looking like that. It has nothing to do with his skill.
Got it. I was curious. So I knew. I was like, I gotta ask Tony.
Yeah. But I kind of, I could kind of see that too. I'm like, all right, this is a movies, so
Let's up
let's just get the
the
most brolic looking guys to go at it.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers looked good
Yeah,
in
in
Rocky.
Rocky 3 when they were running in the beach.
I mean, Rocky 1 and Rocky 3, they
I
look
mean, the
good.
whole franchise.
They
Yeah,
look good. They look great, but I'm just not I don't know what a boxer should or shouldn't look like.
they come in all shapes and sizes.
I also kind of this is just a little side thing. I love the poetic cinema of Apollo Creed and Adonis Creed.
Oh yeah, I love the naming too. Yep,
I like the Greek naming aspect. I think that's very smart. Very
very
smart.
cool,
Very
Ryan Coogler.
very cool, Kugler. Thank you, Kugler. Very cool.
Good job with that. Whoever wrote the names.
I'm looking for more of my quotes.
It's AM, yeah.
I'm trying to remember where this scene was in the film, but when he says nobody cares about Balboa anymore, I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh, wasn't that
Oh,
Ricky?
I think Rocky himself said it, right?
No, I think it was Ricky, and his manager was saying, "You're going to take this fight with Creed."
Oh, that's right. Nobody cares about Balboa anymore, and I was like, "That's right. You're right, Ricky."
Yeah,
I was like, "Excuse me, not pretty Ricky Conlon,
not pretty, ugly Ricky.
ugly Ricky Conlon." I would never. I'm not even a boxing fan, but I would go watch a boxing match if it was Rocky Balboa.
Duff Ricky.
Designated ugly fat Ricky Conlon. How you gonna talk about the champ like that, man? How you gonna talk about that living legend?
Even when he was in the press conference, it's like Rocky is sitting right there next to all these other peasants.
I'm like, why is no? The most unrealistic thing about this movie is that all the press people were asking not Rocky.
Rocky, you gonna make a comeback?
Rocky, what does it feel like to train Apollo Creed's son?
Yeah.
Like,
What's it feel like to be a coach, Rocky?
yeah, nobody was asking the living legend questions. Were they in Philly when they did that press conference? Or, no, because they must have been in Liverpool because they were at the hotel.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, good call on that. I was losing track of where they were.
I was, I pay attention to movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm paying attention.
And it was pretty early in the morning, so good on you.
It was, by the time I finished the movie, it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Dude,
Right on time for you to pop in a certain game.
Dude, I was awake after this movie. When I tell you,
That's when you started doing your laundry, right?
that's when for real, I washed my sheets last night. That's also when you know you're not going to sleep, is when you wash your sheets, because you're not going to sleep on your bare mattress.
Yeah, it'll take you like 2 hours to.
It did take me 2 hours to go to sleep. I washed my sheets. I swept my room. Like, I was up. This movie got me so energized that I couldn't sleep. I was super, and I was ready. I closed my tablet, looked at my notes, made sure everything was ready, and I was like, all right, I gotta lie down. I was wide awake. I could not sleep. I was still thinking about the music and everything I just saw. I went back and I saw my favorite scenes again. It was just, I got
So
so pumped.
this is just off the top of your head, off the top of your heart, not a structured list, but where is Creed among the Rocky movies that you've seen?
Oh, that's a great question.
Just right now, how you feel about it?
I'm gonna put it
Right now.
three. I'm gonna put it at number 3 with Rocky 2, Rocky 3. Oh, you know what?
2 is number 1, then 3, and then Creed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you like Creed. I mean, you like
I was
Rocky
thinking that
3 pretty.
I like Creed more than Rocky 1.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
But yeah,
This is an excellent movie.
it's so good.
Excellent.
And I love Rocky 1. There's no doubt about it, but like, this is kind of a little bit of a Top Gun Maverick to Top Gun kind of thing.
Yeah, it does some things better.
It does it. And
I'll say just the fighting, honestly.
yeah,
Everything, the
but
emotional
like,
beats are there for both movies. The
don't get me wrong,
relationships are there.
Rocky 2 and 3 are still number 1 and number 2 on my list. I love Rocky 2 and 3. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's Creed 1, and then Rocky, and then Rocky 4. So that's my list.
All right, pretty good.
What about you?
I don't have a list in mind, but
if you asked, you got to be prepared to answer. You got to spitball it.
I gotta say, just like tier wise, because Rocky 2 is my favorite, I'll put Creed in the same level.
Okay.
Is that good?
It is. It is.
And then I would also add this without any spoilers, like Creed 2, very good as well. And I was liking Creed 1 better for a while. But then when I saw it again, when I showed my sister and my brother-in-law Creed 2, I was like, dang, it actually is really good. And this ties into something else that I forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm.
I saw both movies in theaters. Both times were amazing because the audience is like, every punch is like, oh, and then if somebody gets knocked down, they're like, oh, come on. Like, people were clapping, people were like gasping for every punch. And that's why I go to the movie theaters. I want to hear that. And the fights were amazing because of it.
I gotta give credit to these films too, because even like, I want to experience that so bad. If I had a time machine, I would want to do a lot of things, but I would want to go and experience Creed in theaters. Like, that is something that I would want to experience. But even just on a home scale, watching like Rocky 1 and 2 with my dad and Davey, we were like, that's just something that these movies inspire in you too. Like, for every punch, for every knockdown, the three of us were like, no, get up. Like,
yeah,
we were reacting. So you already have that. And then put that energy in a crowd. That sounds so fun. I can already picture it.
That's the exciting part of these movies specifically, because you're not just watching a movie, you're watching a fight. And you're watching it like a fight. You're watching people reacting to a fight. And it's so cool. Like, have you ever been to like have you ever seen just like any fight in real life, a boxing match, a UFC match or whatever?
No, I have not.
Well, that's kind of like the energy around. Everyone's around the TV. It's like, come on, like,
I've been
oh,
I
ooh,
think
like so close.
we talked about this a little bit when you went to the Magic's game. That is kind of how it feels to be in a sports stadium. Cause like I've been to a Spurs game and you feel that energy in the crowd where you're like cheering for your team, you're going along with the wave, you're doing all those crowd invigorators kind of thing. Like that is that energy when you're um even when you go to like a sports game.
So imagine that in a theater. That's basically what people are like.
That's what it felt like watching. The first time I ever experienced that was like Transformers 2007. We
Oh
had
yeah.
people were rooting for Optimus
Shout out to
Prime.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shout out to Optimus Prime. Let's not
Shout
shout
out to
out.
Michael Bay. Come on.
Let's not.
No, I'm
but
not taking that back.
but that energy when you put that when you're surrounded by people who are just as invested in the movie as you are. It's great. It's a great feeling.
That's what I'm there for. I know some people don't like it, but that's what I'm there for. I want the
Yeah,
cheers and the claps.
it's funny you mentioned that. I was just reading like this Twitter thread about like people from like Europe and even like Japan where they kind of like make fun of or look down on like how you'll get like those clips that go viral of like this audience watching Avengers like when like did this and you have like those wow and
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I mean, that's what if you're that into it, do it. Have fun. When it started
Yeah,
becoming socially acceptable to cheer, that made going to the movies so fun.
I've seen arguments for it, like calling out Americans, and it's like, why are you clapping at a movie? It's not a play. Who are you clapping for? And I'm just thinking like, what do you mean? Like you don't watch I know you all of you guys watch football and you're clapping at the screen. Who you clapping for, huh? They
Yeah.
can't hear you clapping.
Or if they're not Americans, they're watching football. They're
Football.
they're watching rugby. I don't know what
It's
other.
just exciting. When you're
Yeah.
happy, just clap and cheer. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a good time. That's how we do it in America.
I was definitely in my little blanket fort with my iPad on at 2 in the morning cheering for Creed in the rink. I was
Waking
def-
everybody up.
I was waking. I did actually. I woke Davey up.
Uh,
I mean, he took like a monster nap, so he was gonna wake up at that time anyway. But he walked in on me going,
he's gonna wake up at 2
"Yeah!"
in the morning anyway.
He took a monster nap like as soon as he got home,
Okay.
so he slept and then he woke up at 2 in the morning, and I
To
like
you yelling,
to me going, "Yeah!"
Johnny, let's go.
I was like,
Dun,
"Get
dun,
up!
dun, 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 dun,
Get
dun,
up!"
dun, 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 dun. And yeah, that's why it reminded me because similar to your experience too, watching it with your dad and your brother. When I'm watching it with my sister and my brother-in-law, they get into it, and this movie delivers on that. Creed 2 delivers on that. And my sister, like, she would always say, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like, just the way they're walking to the ring, she's like, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yes. I got chills, man. Even in like Rocky 2 when he was about to face off against Apollo for the second time, I looked at my dad. I was like, I legit have goosebumps.
Yeah. Oh man. What a movie, what a franchise. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
So don't miss Creed 3 in theaters. I'm talking to you and to the listeners, guys. We're
Okay.
sponsored this episode.
Yeah, are we? By you? Are you gonna pay for me to go see Creed 3?
Yeah, I'll sell you
No.
$10. If that's what it takes, yeah. Yeah, let me know. I'll send you some money.
I gotta go see it. I gotta pick a day to go see it. I
Yeah,
need,
but watch Creed 2.
I need to watch Creed 1 and 2 with my dad and then take my dad to go see Creed 3. I think he'll like it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It was it was good. It was real good.
I don't know how much more we have left to say,
I'm
but
looking for any more quotes I may have missed. You wanna
I was going to compliment their acting. Everyone was on point,
everyone did
especially
great.
Sylvester Stallone, like probably his best acting, like very mature. He's a mature Rocky, Michael B. Jordan just magnetic on screen. Like he's so cool to see.
That's perfect casting. I could
Yeah.
not have imagined any other person in that role. Michael B owns it. He
Yeah.
really owns it. And Sylvester, it's almost like he never stopped being Rocky. It's just
He is
you
Rocky.
you see him and that's Rocky.
That's Rocky.
That's Rocky Balboa.
I think there's an argument for that where people say like is he Rocky or
Oh,
is
it's like an
he
RDJ kind of thing where it's like, is Rocky Sylvester or is like Sylvester Rocky kind of thing?
No, no, I was gonna say it completely left my mind. Um, man, his other movie where
Oh,
he's an action star.
Expend Rambo?
No, no, Rambo. Yeah, or is he Rambo?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's Rocky.
because to a certain audience, that's Rambo,
I guess,
and he's
yeah.
done just as many movies.
Really? I never paid attention to
Probably not.
Rambo.
There's probably one franchise that has more than the other, but there's a
Let
lot of
me
Rambo movies.
let me look at how many movies are in Rambo. Honestly, until Davey pointed it out when we were watching Rocky, I had completely forgotten that he was Rambo. I haven't seen any Rambo movies.
I've seen them not with an adult mind, so I forgot them.
There are 5 Rambo films.
Oh, you see, there's more Rocky movies, but that's a lot of Rambo movies.
That's a lot of, there's only one more if you count Balboa. Well, there's 6 Rocky films and
Yeah,
there's 5 Rambo, so
but then Rocky's technically in the Creed movies.
exactly.
Yeah, so is he Rocky or is he Rambo?
He's in Rocky too?
He's in Rocky too, yes.
Oh, now I really need to see it.
No, I know he's in Creed too, Caroline.
Oh,
I
my
know what you
bad.
meant. I know what you meant.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the
I'm
wiki.
answering you. I'm answering you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
reading
yeah.
the Wikipedia, so I'm like trying to
Is
do.
Rocky in Rocky too? I sure
Is
hope so.
I sure hope so. No, yeah, you got me right. Is he in Creed too?
But it's not the weirdest thing that could have happened. Aren't there franchises that they still keep the name and the person's gone? I'm sure we could think of some, but
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't think of some right now. But I'm
Yeah,
sure there's plenty of examples like that.
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, and I can't.
It's fine.
It's fine. Tony, this is one of your films, and so I want to make sure you got everything out that you want to say about this movie.
I think I got everything out. I'm just glad you liked it. I wanted you to see it for yourself. This is a movie I brought up multiple times as a movie that respects his roots and franchise and can be done decades later and can be done correctly. There's not that many of them, but do you agree now? Like this could be added to that list of like
Oh,
Top Gun Maverick,
most
Creed,
definitely.
and
It even adds more to it that this came out before Top Gun Maverick. This was 2015.
yeah.
When did Blade Runner?
I was gonna say Blade Runner. I didn't see it, but I trust Josh on this one. I'm pretty sure it's good.
Dude, I think Creed started the trend because Blade Runner came out in 2017.
They started the trend of hey guys, let's actually make a good
Yeah, for
reboot.
real. Let's like put effort into these really good franchises and make a good sequel.
Guys, let's just try. Let's try this
Is
time.
that so hard? But yeah, that's all we want, and that's what we got. He just he did it.
Yeah.
I do really want to see Blade Runner though. I have Josh's DVD. He already bought another copy, so I guess I can
Oh,
keep
so is
this one.
yours
It's
now?
now mine. But I have his director's cut DVD, and 2049 is on HBO Max. It's available for streaming. And I have been wanting to get into Blade Runner for a long time.
Do it.
I need to, yeah. But first I'm going to watch Creed 2.
And then Creed 3.
And then Creed 3.
I'm gonna have to watch Creed 3 too.
Yeah. It's just this is a great film. I love everything about it. Even that Rocky still has that like hacky sack looking thing and he carries it around with him and he
Oh
still
yeah.
bounces it. I love that he still has that fedora, that little hat. And
Yeah.
it's just the style. That's Rocky. I'm sad that his son isn't there though.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's so messed up. I was like, you left your dad all by himself.
There's a lot they gotta do in one movie.
That scene when they're in the ring and he said, what I didn't write that line down where he
What
tells
does he
him,
say in a roundabout way? Like
he
however you
says,
remember it.
like, I wasn't gonna fight, but you brought that back in me. Like, you gave me something.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gave me a reason to fight.
Yeah, you gave me a reason to fight.
Yeah, man. What a great
Man.
fight at the end, huh?
Oh, just
Huh?
how to make a good film great is
Put
that
some emotion in there.
just there's already emotion seeped into the film, and then you get to the fight where emotions are running high in all different directions. It's
Yeah.
just ah, one step, one punch, one fight at a time.
One round at a time.
I need to
And it's
put
true.
I need to put that on a plaque somewhere in my room.
Start your motivational board.
Oh yeah. What's that thing you had to make? A vision
Vision board.
board. It's just gonna be pictures of Rocky with
Yeah.
quote.
I'm gonna have pictures of Rocky
Yours
and
is
Creed,
yours is
Apollo,
easy. Yours is gonna be littered with Rocky quotes, Creed quotes,
Top
Maverick
Gun quotes.
quotes, and Captain America and Spider Man, Tobey
Da,
Maguire.
da, 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 da. And you forgot Thanos. Da, na, na,
I Tony, we need
na,
inspirational
na, na.
quotes.
There is inspirational quotes with Thanos. Reality could be whatever I want.
Oh my god. I had to
Fine, I'll do it
physically I
myself.
have just physically face palmed. Oh my god.
Are these not motivational to you?
Tony, I'm
Fine,
glad
I'll do it
they're
myself. He's not being lazy. He's not having Loki do it. He's like, okay, I'll do it myself.
that feels so Jordan Peterson make your bed like kind of thing. That's
Thanos makes his bed. And that's why I do too.
different perspective.
Perfectly balanced,
Oh
as all
my
things should be. That's
okay.
motivational.
I do not I look at this vision board and I think one of these things is not like the other. One of these things
I'll show
just
you
doesn't
mine.
belong.
It's gonna have pictures of Rocky alongside Apollo. It's gonna have pictures of Ice and Maverick shaking hands.
Oh, I want that blown up. I want
It's
that
gonna have
picture.
pictures of Thanos watching the sun rise on a grateful universe.
It's gonna have no. I don't think I will.
Yeah, old man Cap saying,
Yeah,
"No, I don't think I will."
yeah.
Oh man, I can envision my vision board right now.
I can envision your vision board perfectly
Mm.
in my mind right now.
All right, I think we should wrap this up.
I
We
think
can
so
only
too.
say this movie's great so many times, but it is pretty good, right?
It's a pretty good
You
movie,
did
man.
Creed win you over? It's pretty good.
Oh, I was won in the first 10
All
minutes.
right, good,
It was no contest.
good, good.
I
I'm happy.
love I love it. I'm so excited to watch Creed 2 and I'm
Thank you,
excited
Ryan Coogler.